So today we're going to be changing the oil on my Royal Enfield Himalayan 411. Now, we have a few stuff here, and I'm not really going to talk about how to do it because you guys are smart. You guys already know how to do this. So I'm just going to be rambling on about why it's important to do your own oil changes instead of taking it to the dealership, especially on a machine that's so simple to work on like this. I'm going to be needing both hands. And I don't have a mount. I'm just going to be putting the camera in convenient locations. As some of you already may know, it's standard practice to do the aluminum foil instead of buying the right parts. Just put some aluminum foil and it will flow. Yep. Okay, so why is it important to change your own oil? Number one, you save money. You can use that money that you save to buy quality motor oil, such as the one I buy here. That's right, eBay oil. It's from eBay. But I change it super often, so because I change it so often, I basically don't need to worry about the quality, because in this case, it's not the quality of the oil, it's the quantity of the times that you change it. No, it's not the quantity of oil you put in there. So yes, there's a bolt I could use to remove, but we do this to check the filter. And I've actually changed it recently, but we're gonna go on a really long ride with some friends, and I wanna make sure this bike is up to snuff. I change this oil every 2,000 miles. Why? Because it's cheap insurance. I also need to check the valves, but they've been running fine for now. Okay. Nice. Another reason to change the oil is you do your own checkups. You can check the seals, make sure they're not cracked, make sure they still have a little bit of sponginess, make sure they're still working. A lot of the times the dealership will do this and just be like, yeah, it's fine, but they'll never tell you anything. Like maybe you yourself can check and see if it's going to be replaced eventually, and you can order the part beforehand. You can also see if there's any metal. Good mechanics will tell you if there's any metal in your oil, and they'll give you a heads up. But some bad lube techs are just there to do their job, and that's their job. Like, they don't have to tell you anything. They can just change your oil just like you asked, and they won't tell you if there's any metal in there. And as you can see here, no metal whatsoever. Pure clean. It's really clean. This oil is still pretty clean. I think I'm changing it a little too early, but like I said, cheap insurance, so I'm not gonna complain about that. Instead, I'm gonna appreciate that it's actually still pretty good. I'm also doing this during my lunch hour, so that's another benefit. Not only is it cheaper and you get to choose the quality of the oil that you put or the intervals, but you can also save a lot of time. You see, most people think that it's faster to have a professional do it. And the answer is yes. Yeah, it's clean. You can ask a professional to do this for you. But if you do that, they will have you wait. You're going to be doing a drive to the dealership or to the mechanic, and you're going to wait in a room. You're going to talk to the cashier. You're paying her for her time, and the mechanic, and the shop owner, for everything. So all that wastes a lot of time, and you're going to be spending at least an hour or two. This I can do it in 30 minutes, and I can check other things while I'm here. I can see if there's any leaks. Looks great. I can see the chain, check the tension real quick. Yeah, that's actually how I like it, kind of loose on the loose side. I can see that there's a little bit of rust spots here. I probably need to lube it more often. That's my fault. I'm missing a cap here. Things like that. While you're doing it, you can inspect your bike, because when you experience breakdowns, wow, I need to clean that. Anyway, when you experience breakdowns, you're going to know what it looked like. You're gonna know what it's supposed to feel like. Whereas if you take it to a shop, they're not gonna let you know anything. They're just going to fix it for you and send you on your way. And that's exactly what you pay for. You pay for convenience, but you're not paying for the knowledge that you gain from working on your own vehicles. That knowledge is something that you have to work for. And it doesn't matter if it's a motorcycle or a car. I feel that doing your own oil changes gives you that insider knowledge of where the bolts are, which ones are tightened, and where the failures could occur, because usually it's your own fault. Like, I've had leaks on my motorcycle because I didn't tighten the oil filter properly. The oil filter's on the other side. And, you know, I was like, okay, lesson learned. And I knew what it was, fixed it right away. I didn't have to make an appointment. I didn't have to go to the dealer and ask for help. I was like, oh, I'm gonna help myself because I did it and it was my fault. So yeah. All right, while this is doing that, I'm gonna go on the other side and we're gonna change the filter. I also bought these filters on eBay because they were incredibly affordable. You get a 5-pack for like 25 bucks, so that's $5 a filter, and they come with the gasket. So that's always nice. Cool. One of the reasons I like doing the oil change on this bike is it's relaxing, it's pleasant. There's no inconvenience whatsoever. So unlike some cars where you have to get, I don't know, the coolant tubes out of the way, this thing is designed to be repaired and maintained with an 8mm, and that's it. Like, literally you can change the oil with just an 8mm. You don't even need a ratchet, but this makes it nice and convenient. We're also using science. You see how like the oil sticks to there and it flows in? Yeah, we're basically doing a little bit of a, I don't know what the action is called. I just took this bike off-roading on, it's a short trail. I think I only did 40 miles, but it was kind of rough. I was revving the engine a lot. So anytime you do a lot of off-roading, you want to change the oil because you're gonna make that oil really hot. And really it's two parts. One, yes, the oil gets dirty and it catches contaminants and it gets black, but the real thing is the oil breaks down. So even if it's clean, the oil can be broken down to the point where it no longer does its lubrication properly. It's turning into, molecularly, it's turning into a different product. Okay, got a spring here. This one's clearly on the bottom. Let's change that. Here we're gonna check to see if there's any sparkles. No sparkles, so I think we're good. Do that there. Give it some time. Clean that up. The way this engine is designed is it always leaves a little bit of the old oil in there. That's part of the reason I do it so often, is because unless you tip the bike over, literally tip it over, you're not going to get all the oil out. It's going to leave like half a quart at the bottom. Or is it liters? I don't know what they use. And the oil itself doesn't look very clean to begin with. At least the one I use. It's full synthetic, Ultra Plus, really cheap. It does the job. It's made in America. Why not? If it's good enough for the USA, it's good enough for my Indian motorcycle. I don't know if you've ever seen those Indian YouTube videos where like they're barefoot and they're machining and making it in a factory that's unsafe and not sanitary. Honestly, this filter looks pretty well made. It's a few rust spots, but that's because it's been sitting in my garage for like 2 years. But this is some quality stuff. There's some very nice quality stuff. I don't think it matters what size, and it's all the same. So you can do it like this, you can do it like this. I like it. It doesn't matter. So just to sum it up, the reason I encourage people to do their own oil changes are for 3 reasons. You save time, it's a lot faster, you can do it on your lunch break with simple tools, especially if it's a bike that's easy to work on. 2, you save money. 3, it's higher quality. Not only is the work higher quality because you're doing the work, but it's also the quality that you want. Like, you can spend the extra time and, you know, you can, I don't know, add sealant, or you can clean everything in great detail. The quality is what you make it. And you can't pay for that. You have to choose the quality that you work on your bike. And you get to learn how to be a proper mechanic. You maintain it. You get to know it. There's lots of benefits. There we go. Nice and tight. It doesn't have to be too tight. You can pull out the torque wrench if you want. I don't feel like I want to or need to, so we're fine there. You can use brake cleaner. I don't like to use brake cleaner because, you know, it strips away the paint. You choose how you want to work on it. This is a little sight level. So right now, it's at nothing. Once we fill it up, and I put it on the kickstand. I actually made the kickstand removable. I put like a stick in the middle, and I remove the kickstand when I'm not using the bike because it adds weight. And honestly, I only use the kickstand at home. I don't use it out in the field, out when I'm dirt biking. Cool, let's go check the other side, see if it's finished. Right on, this thing is done. It's nice and clean, let's put it back on. You don't want to over torque these because if you do, they're oiled, so that means they're gonna stretch. They're gonna stretch as far as they can go until they break. All right, you're done. Nothing here. Toss away your aluminum foil. Responsibly change it. Now we add in Le Motor oil. And since we are already here, we can use brake fluid, brake cleaner. Problem solved. Just a little bit. All right, let's fill it in with oil and see how it's doing. One thing that my wife mentioned is that when you're working on a car or a motorcycle, she never realized how much cleaning there is. She's like, oh my gosh, you spend all your time cleaning. And that is true. The less dirt and contaminants get in your oil, because there are going to get some contaminants in there, but the less you have, the less problems there are, and the longer your engine lasts. So we're going to put an entire bottle here. Ah! It didn't flow as fast as I thought. Guess we'll just give it some time. That meowing is my cat. She's just lonely. Oh, it's Miko. Hello, Miko. Say hello to the GoPro. Come on, Miko. No, he does not. Meow. What do you want? Anyways, just leave it in there for a bit while I open the new one. And before I start it for the first time, I like to put it a little bit near the top, especially for this bike, because once you start the engine, it starts to go down. So I put a little bit near the top so I don't have to fill it in. One of these, sometimes I actually get it right. Sometimes I get it spot on. All right, that one's done. Every drop. In this oil crisis nowadays, we can't afford to waste a single drop. And obviously, you want a filter that doesn't fit perfectly right. You need it to let it breathe. Whoa! All right, we're there. So you can see a little bit near the top. So we're going to start the engine, and then we'll see it go down, and then we'll top it off right. See, it has a little choke lever. Let's give it a little gas. While you're down here, inspect for leaks. If you see any leaks right away, you're gonna smell them. Okay, I only ran it for like 30 seconds. And we're gonna let the oil come back down. And that should be it. We did it. Should be good, ready for another few thousand miles and reliable engine. Right now, let's see what I'm at. Come on. I'm at 18,672. So hopefully it continues as long as I can because it's a nice dual sport, and basically it gets good mileage, so I can't complain. Alright guys, thanks for listening to my ranting. Appreciate everything. Have a good one.